Adam and Ruben, and they are part of the Reading and Leeds Mill. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you, mate. Thank you very much for having us on.
That's all right. It's been thinking about it for a while, actually, to be honest. Like, I think, this would be quite good. Nice little collab here, and we are finally here. So,
Yeah.
what made you start? I guess you just went as your usual festival goers and then sort of got into it, really, and yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one, really. I mean, I only realised this, I think, a few months ago because the memory came up on whatever I took a photo on. But I saw that I bought my Reading ticket a year ago the other day, and so it was obviously the day after I decided to set up the account. And I think the thinking behind it was there's so many different, like, for things like football, there's so many accounts for things that people can follow, and arguably one of the biggest was, I mean, there was a couple for Glastonbury, but not ones that even do what content we do. There's like countdown ones, there's rumours, but there wasn't really a big news thing other than the Reading Festival subreddit that was all about Reading and Leeds Festival. And I just thought, look, let's just make an account. I'll ask a question. I was spamming it on so many different like Reading tweets and stuff. I remember on my first day I was over the moon because I had like 8 followers. And yeah, I just started making these little graphics because I've always been okay at like Photoshop, just putting together simple stuff. So I thought, well, if I make a little graphic, put a question on, I think my first question was about Post Malone saying is 3 years too many in a row. And I just thought, why not open up the question to a load of people? Surely this is going to get some interest. And luckily it did. And after about 100 followers, Ruben messaged me and said he'd love to get involved. And at that point, I was doing barely anything. So I was like, oh, to be fair, I'm all right for now. And then eventually it just kind of got to the point. I think the lineup announcement happened in, I think it was April last year, and he jumped in the Insta Live with me reacting to it, and he was so good at it. And I just thought, well, this person's perfect. So I couldn't just get my mates because they're not passionate festival goers. You know, they go to the festival, but they're not passionate. So then got Ruben involved, and as the summer sort of went on, we did more and more together, and here we are today.
Nice. Sounds like a match made in heaven, really. It sounds like how we came about, really, because I did it with another guy called Dan, and he started it, and I was like, oh, I'd love to get involved with something like that, and here we are.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny how these things work out. I mean, I think Ruben enjoys it, don't you?
Just a little bit. I was happy to jump on the Insta Live when the announcement first happened, and then yeah, it just clicked. I mean, that's the first time that me and Adam properly spoke. I mean, I say face to face, but I mean it was over social media. But then it wasn't until July when just a few days after Freedom Day where we went to Raw Blood in Bristol, and that's the first time that we met. And then the second time we met was at Reading. Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy where it's come and where it's going.
What are like the plans for it, like from today onwards, like, because you've grown quite a lot in like the year it's been?
Yeah, we saw our main patch of growth was probably like the month leading up to the festival. I think we doubled in followers in every platform. Like, it was crazy. And yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say, but I think this year the festival circuits, our podcast we do, has really grown quite well. I think the inclusion of video on YouTube platforms and trying to get some guests on. I mean, we had the TPD guys on, we've had Jack Webb on a couple of times, we've had the Horror on the band, and we're just trying to get more musicians and bands on. So I think we got some big plans for the festival circuit, providing that people want to come on, and we can sort of every series up sort of like our production quality and get sort of start off at those smaller bands and go up and up and up. And then I think in terms of the main channel, I mean, it's a bit of a difficult one when it's a little bit dry. I mean, even the last announcement for Reading wasn't up to everyone's standards, really. Not by no fault of everyone else, but everyone has high standards because it's the festival we all love. So I mean, not even doing like a reaction video to that. I mean, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I mean, it just didn't feel right at the time. So yeah, I think in terms of main channel content, I mean, this is just personal, but I'd just like to sort of repeat sort of some of the stuff I did last year, but make it even better, sort of like guides and things, and just give people tips, because that's what it's all about. It's about sharing tips, about building this community even more. And I think that's kind of the main idea. I don't know what Ruben thinks.
Yeah, I mean, the whole being able to grow a community online around the festival, and it started off as just Reading and Leeds, and it's now kind of grown into all UK festivals, which is great. And we've got a Discord there's like 150 people that talk daily, and we're really starting to grow a community. And as Adam said, last Reading and Leeds was our first run out, and it was as anything is going to be a bit room for improvement with every year. So hopefully we're building year on year, and hopefully this year we've got some great plans for content that we're going to put out. It's going to be much higher quality, and I just think that it's it's going to be great. We've spoken to the TPD guys, and they're kind of feeling the same, where it's content slower at the minute. Last announcement wasn't really newsworthy. It wasn't really anything to shout home about. It didn't scream to us as anything to make a dedicated video on, because it was a few sub headliner, and then just the rest kind of fodder that kind of just fills out the rest of the lineup. So we're hoping, for the content to start ramping up now, and with the last announcement, hopefully in the next month or two, leading up to the festival, hopefully there's something that we can talk about.
Yeah, right. So that leads very nicely onto the next one. What are your thoughts of this year's lineup? Obviously, it's a mixed bag, would be a bit of an understatement, but
yeah, it is a mixed bag. You're right. I think they absolutely smashed it out of the park with the first announcement. I think people who were still complaining were just people who aren't into the music that it truly is, because I couldn't quite believe that all the headliners they got. I mean, just the fact that they got Dave, Arctic Monkeys, Rage Against the Machine, Bring Me the Horizon all in the same announcement is baffling, especially in a year where we have 6 headliners as well. It's not even like 2 of them are sub-headlining and there's 2 other main ones. We've got 6 headliners. I think
it's quite mad if you think about it. It's like
it's crazy for a UK festival as well. That isn't Glastonbury. And then we've all seen Glastonbury line up this year, and it's amazing as well. But I think they've done really, really well, and I think that's the thing when you have these big names, and you've got 12 sub headliners over the weekend. So of course those smaller festivals are going to suffer a little bit. It's not like the days when we had the radio one, and then the one extra was almost just as big as some of the festivals we've got now. So I don't know. I think I'm overall really happy with it. I think it's easy to be disappointed when they release a big bag of names and there's only a couple you may like DMAs or someone like that. But I mean, I think it's to be expected. And me and Ruben, and I'm sure you have as well, been in this game a long time, and you come to expect that. Or when you're doing your research about it, you don't even have to be in it for a long time, but as long as you do your research for the last couple of years, you know that they're not going to announce another massive name, because they don't have the scope for it and where they play and so on. So overall, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that's good. What about you? You good with it, Ruben?
Yeah, I mean, it's as Adam said, the first announcement they knocked out the park. It was crazy when they announced Arctic Monkeys and Rage Against the Machine on the same bloody headline, the same bloody lineup, and then you add the Daves and the Bring Me's, who people are crying out for, that they deserve that headline slot, which they've obviously now got. Halsey and Megan Thee Stallion were 2 curveballs that people weren't really massive fans on, but you can't really complain when as I say, you've got Monkeys and Rage, and then some of the sub headliners. You've got like your Wolf Alice, you've got your Polo G, Glass Animals, Run the Jewels, Bastille. Like it's crazy names. That year on year, you wouldn't tend to have those bigger names when you don't have the 2 main stages. But they're also throws in the curveball of having the 2 main stages with the times between the sets. Sorry, there's living on Ladbroke Grove. There's drilling outside.
That's right.
So yeah, the 2 main stages, with the few minutes that you had in between each set, you were sprinting practically between each main stage act, which also then kind of led to the bigger names being put on the main stage. So even at your 1 o'clock slots, you had like acts like Sports Team, meaning that throughout the day you would kind of rarely get a chance to go to the dance stage or the Festival Republic tent or or the One Extra stage or the Lockup or wherever, because the big bands were on the main stage, you were kind of going, oh, right, I want to see Sports Team, and then Declan McKenna, and then da-da-da, and it would just build up until you had the headliner. So that's kind of one thing that where, you know, before COVID, when we had just the one main stage and then the Radio 1 and whatever, it kind of spread the acts out a bit and kind of would give a platform for smaller bands to be able to get seen. Whereas with the two main stages, I fear that that's being tainted a little bit.
Yeah, so it's a hard one, isn't it? Because I think like the you know, like the two main stages, and then obviously how it used to be. It's hard because sometimes I like stumbling across a random little tent and find like my next favorite artist or band, but I get why they've done the two main stages. Though it draws a bigger crowd, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Business at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think, you know, I mean, for them to be able to say that they've got 6 headliners across 2 main stages, it looks great for them. But you're right. I think these little tent, like you'd go in like early on a BBC tent, I think you'd find some amazing artists, and they always put some great artists on that Radio 1 tent. I mean, you've got the Introducing, which they still seem to do quite well. I mean, you get some good acts. I mean, we saw like the Yard Act last year, and now look at them. Like, and they're still getting some amazing talent. Don't get me wrong, and I've just got the lineup up in front of me. But there's one other thing that is worth mentioning is that you've got where we once had the Pit, the Lockup, and the Festival Republic stage. You've now got one day each of those, and that again leads to not being able to perhaps find that sort of music that you want to, because it means that certain acts all get chucked on that Festival Republic day, when really there was probably scope for them to go into that BBC Radio 1 maybe earlier on, or headline even the Festival Republic stage. But because there's only one day, it means you've got like the biggest artist of that size headlining it, but then all of a sudden other names get lost. I don't know. I think we're going to look deeply into it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really exciting and it's really good, and I'm happy with it.
So obviously leading up to like an announcement, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always like try and think who it could be. So I'll be like, so the year of when Foo Fighters headlined, they announced those European dates, and it was just around the Randl time. I was like, they're headlining. Do you guys do that? Is that like, do you try and think who it could be? Like,
I mean,
and stuff?
For sure. With Arctic Monkeys this year, we had the announcement of their small, their European dates, and then they were doing other festivals. And I mean, it was screaming out. It was like they're either going to be doing Reading or they're going to be doing Glasgow. Yeah. And just the way that the dates lined up, it was kind of they're doing late, kind of mid to late July, early August, and it was like they're not going to be warming up with a Glastonbury headline set. So I think Reading, it kind of just it seemed fitting. So that's one that we called. I mean, everyone calls it from day one, so we can't say that we did, but it was one that seemed quite obvious to us. Obviously, I remember the day after Reading last year, Melvin said something about 2 acts are returning from the 2020 lineup, and there's going to be a guitar-heavy band and that sort of thing. So we kind of were thinking, Rage. And that sort of thing. But I mean, I'm happy. We're happy. I think a lot of people are happy. You get the odd person on Twitter that is going to complain about the lineup. But that's such as life. But yeah, we do try and predict, work around people's tour dates. Some people even put it up on their tour lineups before they even announced. Who was it? But was it BB?
Yeah, BBNOS.
Yeah. He announced that he was playing Reading before the even first lineup came out. So,
so as you've been probably for many years, what has been your favourite year?
You know what? I was thinking about this question before, and I think it sounds a little bit cliche, but I really, really loved 2021, and I think it was just because of everyone look at you almost felt emotional getting into the campsite and looking around, and it's something that people haven't done for 2 years, It's crazy to think that something that we took for granted so easily, right? Yeah, it's going to be on this August, going to be on this August. All of a sudden, it's not. Even when we had a lineup, and then like a month later, them saying, "Yeah, it's not on," and then all of a sudden, you're seeing these amazing acts. Like the Stormzy set was amazing. Liam Gallagher. There was so many names that it seemed like so long ago now, but it was absolutely incredible. And I do think just the whole vibe of 2021 and the fact that everyone got back and they were dancing again, they were singing along. It was as if nothing had happened in the last however many years. It was kind of like you got through the gates, you took the masks off, hypothetically, you got there, everyone was back in their camping chairs, and it was just amazing. And I think the whole vibe of 2021 was such like an amazing story. And obviously we had stuff like Glastonbury that didn't even go ahead because just purely down to timing, Truck Festival as well. And it was lucky that Reading is when it is, and it was just incredible. And I think even a month before, you didn't even know if it was going to happen, but the fact that it did, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I do have to second that. 2021 was a special year, and it's a year that I think for people that have been going for 10 years or people that have been going for a few years, it's going to go down as one that will stand out in the history books just because of the first one post-COVID and the apprehensiveness, because Melvin was sure that it was going to happen in 2021, and he didn't want to be told otherwise. And there was the news outlets were telling him it's not going to happen, it's not going to go ahead. And he was talking about vaccines before that even happened, and COVID passports before they even happened. So Melvin was really ahead of the curve, and obviously was doing all the stuff for Festival Republic and like the Liverpool gig to help with the pilot events to try and help his events and other events go ahead. So that stands out, but for me, I think 2019, Reading, it has to be my favourite. It's just the way that you can see. I managed to discover bands like Frank Clark, the Rattlesnakes before, as I was waiting to go see Foo Fighters, one band that I've listened to for my whole life, and like the 1975's legendary headline slot, like that will go down as one of the best headline sets Reading has seen. I managed to discover Sports Team on the Festival Republic stage at Reading. Billie Eilish moved from the Radio 1 tent to the main stage and had an absolute massive crowd. It's just
got the biggest crowd, didn't she, that weekend?
Yeah, it was for me that was a special one because I'd finished sixth form, so I just got my A-level results. So it was kind of like I've got a few months now I've got a few weeks now until I'm off to uni. So it's like, let's go and enjoy myself one last blowout with my schoolmates until we all go off to uni.
Yeah, I think that 2019 was the last show I went to fair.
Was it?
Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it. But just don't know if I'll be able to do it now. It's my age.
What's your favourite year?
I've literally only been to 2016 and 2019, but 2016 was my first time, and it was Biffy, Foles, Disclosure, and Chili Peppers.
Oh, what a lineup!
And it was very good. But I think 19 probably topped it just because of the campsite side of things rather than the actual
music.
Yeah, but Foo Fighters are incredible though.
Yeah, they're insane.
The future of the festival, obviously we've touched on like the 6 headliners. I think that'll be something they continue to do over like the coming years.
Yeah, I think I can't remember who we discussed it with, Ruben, but we were talking either with it was Rob or Jack, and they said that, I think it was Jack, and they said that they like to change things every like 4 or 5 years, and I think that's how long we're probably going to see these 2 main stages for. Because if you think about it, if you have it for enough time for people to start to enjoy it, like if they get like sort of the timings in between sets right, and everyone loves it, but then all of a sudden in 2 or 3 years you say, right, Radio 1 stage is coming back, all of a sudden that drives a lot of hype. It's not like, oh, we tried something for 1 year, let's just go back because everyone else preferred Radio 1. It's going to be a case where you start to just get used to the 2 main stages, and then they're like, right, let's get back to the most iconic tent in festival history. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what they're going to do. I think in terms of I think they've got the balance correct now in terms of what acts we're going to see. I think they've done that really, really well. And I think, you know, to kind of stick to that formula of having an indie act, a rock act, a rap act, and then whoever else they kind of want to add on, maybe a pop, maybe a dance with, like, it might be a case of one year they do all 6 headliners, all completely different genres of music. You never know. That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, me and Ruben were trying to rack our brains saying what dance act could it be, because we were trying to follow the formula of having Disclosure last year, and then there wasn't one really. So this year, yeah, I think either they do what they do again this year and have a couple of proper rock acts, because obviously we've got Bring 'Em Here, we've got Arctic, and we've got Rage all on the same lineup, and a lot of people are saying that it's, you know, quite similar to how the festival used to be. But I do think they've got the sweet spot at the moment with being able to have 6 headliners, being able to sort of differentiate the days almost to rap to rock to thing. I think that works really, really well, and I think for people like probably all of us who like all sorts of types of music, I think it works perfectly. And then you've got people who really like rap or really like rock, they can go to their day. I think it works really, really well. And I think for now, the 2 main stages are here to stay, because I think of the variety it offers. But I think, who knows, one day.
Yeah, I mean, I reckon next year, or at least in a few years, they'll have a 50-50 split between female and male headliners, which obviously would be great to see. And it's a long time coming that we actually have some female representation at the top of the bill.
That's the one thing they always get ripped on, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, that's why they've made steps this year with the 2 headliners, with Halsey and Megan Thee Stallion. I think next year they'll go that one step further. And whether it's like a Billie Eilish, Haim and Paramore, somewhere like that, Florence or someone, I reckon it'll be a 50-50 split.
I was going to say, obviously, we haven't even done this year yet, but who do you think could headline next year?
Well, I think Ruben's probably got it spot on. I think we'll see Billie Eilish return after her Glastonbury set this year. I think we'll see Florence and the Machine return because of our new album coming out. I think it probably would have made sense for her to go this year, but perhaps they just couldn't get her. But I think, we'll see Florence and the Machine. I think it's going to be a case of seeing who brings out new music. Kendrick Lamar's just announced his new album. We could see the return of Kendrick Lamar next year.
Everyone wants Kendrick, don't they?
Yeah. Who knows? That's the thing. I mean, we're a long time away. I mean, me and Ruben have said Royal Blood for the past 2 years, and they still haven't been there. So maybe they're due a return, maybe in that second headline slot.
I think they could headline based on their, when they played before 1975, they were unreal.
Oh yeah, that was insane.
And that's another act. 1975 as well. They could return.
Yeah, I think they're probably due new music, aren't they?
I think they've got an album coming out. October. Is it? No, the tour's October. I think new music will obviously be before then. So
they've done that thing where they they delete all their socials and that again. So
go on, they'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Stormzy as well. He's releasing a new album this year.
Yeah, he could.
Stormzy and Kendrick on the same bill could be a bit mad.
I even know it's a bit of a running joke now, but I think even Post Malone has got a new album coming out.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. There's so many. That's the thing.
I don't think they could probably have him.
See, I'm not sure on the legendary. I'm kind of thinking Chili Peppers maybe.
Yeah,
Chili Peppers got the album that's just come out.
Album to be fair.
Yeah, the Killers maybe.
Yeah,
it's
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's just going to be a case of kind of getting through this summer and kind of literally as soon it happens with me and Adam this year. It happens every year. As soon as the festival finishes, that Monday after, everyone's looking right. Okay, who's going to be headlining next year? And that's looking forward to.
Sometimes it sounds like does itself, doesn't it? Like where you just know, like you said, like Arts and Monkeys, you knew it.
That's the thing. You kind of get the feeling. I mean, they always release the survey as to who you want, and I've just got it up here. So in terms of acts, I mean, they've got. In terms of like the Legends acts, they have like Guns N' Roses, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Radiohead, Depeche Mode, Green Day, My Chemical Romance. I mean, there's all sorts of people that could be added. There's so many females, amazing acts on here. Eminem, J. Cole. I mean, there's so many they could choose. Sam Fender Sam Fender could
Yeah.
headline. So
Yeah, he probably could. No, yeah.
as you say, you don't know really until the festival's over, because I always look at the posters as well around Reading. That can give some things off, and it's exciting because I'm getting excited now talking about. And this year hasn't even happened.
Well, I'm not going this year, but like, it's nice having normality back, isn't it? Even though I know we had it last year, but
You just know things are happening.
yeah, exactly. Like having normal gigs back. Like I went to my first gig in like 2 years last month. We saw Raw Blood in Bournemouth.
Oh, that's where we went.
Yeah,
we were there.
Yeah, it's a good gig.
Yeah, really good.
And Amazons were really good as well.
Oh yeah,
the Amazons were
they're
sick.
brilliant, weren't they?
Yeah, they are very good.
I said we felt. I think me and Ruben said we felt like that could have just been the main act. Like I left to get a drink, and I was like, I just feel like I've seen the whole headline show.
Yeah, it's mad for like.
I'm happy to go home now. Yeah.
Are you seeing them in October tour?
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and get down there to that.
I'm going to go to the Randl show.
Oh, okay. I was going to go to Southampton.
Yeah, that's probably where I'll end up. I like going local.
Yeah, Roundhouse is a good venue though.
Yeah, it's my favourite venue.
So I saw Circle Waves there. Very good.
Oh.
Yeah. See, I've only seen Circle Waves. I know we're going off topic here, but I've only seen Circle Waves on as a support. They supported Jerry last year, and the crowd made it so dead. And I know Circle Waves are an amazing act, and I love Circle Waves. And I felt like I was the only one singing them. So I'm looking forward to them at Reading this year.
I had that last Friday. I was at Wombat at the O2, and sports team was supporting them, and it was completely dead. And there was just me and Dan. Shout out to Dan. He follows the Randl Mill. He came over and spoke to me, and we watched the sports team set, and we were the only ones bouncing and singing every lyric to the song, and everyone around us was looking like, what are you guys doing? And Alex came over and was like looking at us, and Rob, their guitarist, was looking over in our direction because we were literally the only ones jumping about. So that was kind of annoyed me because I saw their Brixton show. Was that November time, I think?
Yeah, it was around that, wasn't it?
And fuck me, do they put on a really good show?
They do.
And so that was a bit disappointing, but how dead the crowd was.
For you. Little, not really a curveball, but Blossom think they could do it headline.
I am not their biggest fan.
Fair enough.
I like them. I think they make good music, but when I watched them, whether it was my positioning in the crowd, I don't know. But when I watched them at Reading, I was just a bit like, okay, they're singing. Like I wasn't a huge fan. So I personally wouldn't. I think they probably could do it. I don't think it would be the most popular choice they could do, but I'm not their biggest fan. But then that's coming from me. I mean, someone else who loved them will say that they should headline all day long.
It will be interesting to see how Ribbon Around the Bomb is taken by the fans. If it's a really good album, I mean, I love them, so I'd happily see them headline. I mean, I saw them obviously this year at Reading and at Boardmasters as well. Last year, and I love them. So we'll see if they if Ribbon Around the Bomb becomes a big album. What album is it for them now? Album 3?
Around
4,
that, I think. Yeah.
It's the new one will be the 4th one, I think.
Yeah. So I mean, 4 albums. You're getting into that headliner worthy of 4 albums if they're big enough, and they sub headline this year. Last year, sorry. So we'll see.
Got another one. So I just keep thinking of one. Foals. About Foals.
Oh
yeah, I think they could do it. Yeah,
they did it. They've done it before, haven't they? But I think it was with Disclosure, wasn't it? But did you go that year?
I didn't know.
No. Oh, okay. So they obviously did 2 steps last, and
as they always do.
And they brought like Disclosure on for it as well.
Oh wow!
It was insane. It's probably one of the best ending to
it does sound brilliant though, to be fair. Yeah,
just YouTube is worth a watch.
Yeah. I'll have to do that. What went down is also an absolute banger.
Inhaler as well is good on that.
Yeah, they know how to get the crowd going.
They just got all bangers, haven't they? We're not too keen on their new stuff though, but that's just what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Again, that's another one. The album will come out, and we'll see.
I would say, yeah.
I mean, you can tell by the singles the direction they're going, but you know the album tracks might be. It's a bit like Wet Legs. The Wet Legs album's just come out. The singles, a lot of people are saying, oh, they all sound quite similar, but then you listen to the album, and the album tracks are completely different, and they actually kind of tell a bit more of a story, and it's a
Story,
bit,
yeah.
It's good album. They're gonna be quite big. I mean, they already are quite big now.
No, I mean, yeah, we'll be talking about them in 4 or 5 years about them headlining probably.
I know, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Tried to get them on here, but you know, got declined. But we moved.
Well, to be fair, you got the Amazon. That's
We
pretty
did.
cool.
Yeah, that was quite mad. To be fair. Yeah. You, so you like when in terms of you getting guests on, is it just constant emails all the time?
Yeah, we've had. I mean, we had a couple of leads, and it's just kind of a case of them falling down because of working out dates and things, even and times that we can do it. I mean, I'm hoping that sort of over the summer, as me and Ruben become more like sort of free, and I mean, to be fair, it's mainly my fault with uni and a part-time job that's about 25 hours a week, so it's me holding it up. But I think over the summer we're going to try and just really go from try and get whoever we can, whoever wants to come on. Just smash out the episodes over the summer. Get people playing at Reading, that sort of thing. Get people playing at summer festivals just to chat about it, just as they start their sort of tours, and just hope for the best. I mean, I think with something like that, you play it slow and steady. You get people, and then you get 3 or 4 decent size, and then someone else sees. And I mean, if they're looking at your content and they see that they've gone on, then people are going to be more likely to go on, aren't they?
We've got a few in the pipeline, so
yeah,
we
have as well, but you know, they'll do these little cheeky eye emojis and all that. I love teasing it.
Yeah,
it is hard. Like it's for us, it goes in like waves.
Yeah,
where we'll get loads of replies, and then sometimes it's just dead.
It goes quiet, yeah.
And then it's like, we try and think of content to do, and it's hard, but done it for almost 2 years now, so
yeah, you're doing really well.
Yeah, it is what it is. This process, isn't it? It's mad when you see some channels that are like huge, but they've been doing it for like 10 odd years.
Yeah.
And then we just started this in lockdown, so here we are.
Yeah. But yeah, to be fair, because I saw your like thread on your main Twitter, and you got the thread of all the different episodes. I was like, that thread was been 2020. It's just crazy how long you've been. You guys, it feels like how long that has been.
Yeah, it's been long. It's been stressful at times, but it is. It's enjoyable. And I wouldn't stop it now. To be fair, it's in a good place, so we're happy with it.
Good. Well, we'll have to definitely get you guys onto our podcast, and
definitely. Yeah.
We'll do sort of a vice versa and chat about your guys' story.
Yeah, that'd be good. Right, you guys have been great. You can find the Reading and Leeds Mill on Instagram and Twitter. Give them a follow for your Reading and Leeds needs.
Thank you very much. Oh, nice. I like that.
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. We haven't even thought about that.
You can find polls, lineups. I mean, they'll answer any questions you have about festivals, like what you need to bring. I always say baby wipes is an essential.
Sure is.
Sure is. Because you never know. Yeah, you guys have been great. Thank you for coming, guys. Really appreciate it. You can find us on all streaming platforms and social media at Talk Tonight HQ. Thank you very much, guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.